Gopidana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Girivara Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banamsari Yamuna Tira Banamsari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Girivara Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Brajadana Randana Yasodhanandana Brajadana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe
Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Gaura Premanandi Jai Mishupad Paramahamsa Sri Vrajgacharya Stotara Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Sirabai Sharanarvin Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandiviti Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Janitai Gaura Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurambiritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savrutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitam Scha Hai Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the Supremost Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayasavadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhaviti Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavatam Namaha
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Puranam Brahmasam
Uttama Charitam
Tamasloke Charitam
Sakara Bhagavan Rishi
Sakara Bhagavan
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Nishresaya
Dhanyam Swastyayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam Sasyanam
This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhar
Sri Advaita
Sri
Gadadhar
Vasadi Gaura Bhakta
Sri
Vrinda
Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare
Om
Hare
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om 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 Sarabhyai Namaha
Om Sarvaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyai
Om
Namaha
Sarvaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyai Namaha
Om Sarvaya Namaha
Mukam karoti vasalam pangum langayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming on another stormy night. I think not as bad as the other night, but still. We are continuing from Canto number 1, Chapter 6, a conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. And I think 27. Yes. Evam
Evam
Krishna
Krishna
Mater
Mate
Brahman
Brahman
Nasaktasya Malat Manaha
Nasaktasya
Kalaha
Kalaha
Pradurabhut
Pradurabhut
Kale
Kale
Tadit
Adit
Sodamani
Saudamani
Yatha
Yatha
Evam Krishnamater Brahman
Evam Krishna Mater Brahman
Nasaktasya Malat Manaha
Nasaktasya Malatmanaha
Kala Pradurabhut Kale
Kala Pradurabhut Kale
Tadit Sodamani Yatha
Pradit Saudamani Yatha
Evam Krishna Mater Brahman
Evam Krishna Mater Brahman
Evam Krishna Mater Brahman
Evam Krishna Mater Brahman
Nasaktasya Malat Manaha
Nasaktasya Malatmanaha
Kala Pradurabhut Kale
Kala Pradurabhut Kale
Tadit Soda Mani Yatha
Tadit Saudamani Yatha Evam Krishna Mater Brahman
Evam Krishna Mater Brahman
Nasaktasya Malat manaha
nasaktasya malatmanaha
kalaha pradurbhut kale
kala pradurabhut kale
tadit sauda maniyataha
tadit sodamani yatha
Evam Krishna Matir Brahman
evam Krishna mater brahman
Nasaktasya Malatmana
nasaktasyat malatmanaha
Kala Pradur Prabhut Kale
kala pradurabhut kale
Tadit Sodamani Yatha
tadit sodamani yatha evam.
Evam
Thus,
Das
Krishna Matehi,
Krishna Mate
one who is fully absorbed
one who is fully absorbed
in thinking of Krishna,
in thinking of
thinking of
Krishna,
Brahman,
Brahman,
O Vyasadeva,
Vyasadeva,
na,
Na,
not,
Not,
asaktasya,
Asaktasya,
of one who is attached,
of one who is attached,
amala atmanaha,
Amala Atmana,
of one who is completely free
of one who is completely free
from all material dirt,
from all material dirt,
kalaha,
Kalaha,
death,
death,
pradurabhut,
Radurabhu,
become visible,
become visible,
kale,
Kali,
in the course of time,
in course of time,
tadit,
Tadit,
lightning,
lightning,
sodamani,
Sodamani,
illuminating,
illuminating,
yatha,
Yatha,
as it is.
as it is.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. And so, O Brahmana Vyasadeva, in due course of time, I, who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna, and who therefore had no attachments, being completely freed from all material taints, met with death as lightning and illumination occur simultaneously. Kindly repeat after me. And so,
And so,
O Brahmana Vyasadeva,
O Brahmana Vyasdeva,
in due course of time,
in due course of time,
I,
I
who was fully absorbed
was fully absorbed
in thinking of
in
Krishna,
thinking of Krishna,
and who therefore
and who therefore
had no attachments,
had no attachments,
being completely freed
being completely free
from all material taints,
from all material things,
met with death
met with death,
as lightning and illumination
as lightning and illumination
occur simultaneously.
occur simultaneously.
Purport: to be fully absorbed in the thought of Krishna means clearance of material dirts or hankerings. As a very rich man has no hankerings for small petty things, so also a devotee of Lord Krishna, who is guaranteed to pass on to the kingdom of God, where life is eternal, fully cognizant and blissful, naturally has no hankerings for petty material things, which are like dolls or shadows of the reality and are without permanent value. That is the sign of spiritually enriched persons. And in due course of time, when a pure devotee is completely prepared, all of a sudden the change of body occurs, which is commonly called death. And for the pure devotee, such a change takes place exactly like lightning and illumination, follows simultaneously. That is to say, a devotee simultaneously changes his material body and develops a spiritual body by the will of the Supreme. Even before death, a pure devotee has no material affection due to his body's being spiritualized like a red hot iron in contact with fire. Translation again. And so, O Brahmana Vyasadeva, in due course of time, I, who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna and who therefore had no attachments, being completely freed from all material taints, met with death as lightning and illumination occur simultaneously. Mm. So this example is given, example of lightning and illumination when there's, just like yesterday, the day before, lightning we see, and immediately there is light or illumination. So for for if you, this is the description of someone who is on the level of self-realization. Uh, being on on the level of self-realization means that one is already practiced in being absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and um, that famous example Prabhupada is mentioning also at the end of the purport. So if someone has been absorbing oneself in Krishna conscious activities, uh, then that means that his consciousness has become different. His consciousness has become spiritualized, or as Prabhupada would say, Krishnized. And therefore, when this moment of death occurs, then one, as mentioned here, one simultaneously leaves this material body and acquires his spiritual body, right? That's how Prabhupada is describing it here. Uh, a devotee simultaneously changes his material body and develops a spiritual body by the will of the Supreme. Uh, so, of course, uh, this is only possible when one has completely become detached from material um, attractions. It is only possible when one has become fully cleansed of all material, what is it? the abhadras, unwanted things, dirty things uh, that have accumulated in the heart due to uh, being engaged in sinful activities. Um, and this is what Narada Muni will be explaining in the next verses also, that since that time, Narada Muni um, is Narada Muni. He is situated in his transcendental body, spiritual body, and he continues to preach um, Krishna consciousness. Sometimes in the spiritual world, sometimes in the material world. So we have read before how actually it is only through the process of uh, devotional activities to Lord Krishna that one can attain this level, uh, and it means uh, becoming more and more absorbed in performing such activities of devotional service without uh, without any tinge of material contamination. This is the goal for all of us, and this is describing here how it takes place uh, at the moment of death. So therefore, some of our acharyas have used that expression, which I'm sure you've heard before, the expression "die before you die," because it is, as Krishna explains, of course, in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever we are thinking of at that critical moment of leaving our body, that we will attain. So a devotee, actual devotee, is someone who has properly utilized those three activities that are central to the mind, isn't it? Thinking, feeling, and willing. So no one can avoid to think, no one can avoid to feel or to desire. The difference between a materialistic person and a devotee is that a devotee utilizes these faculties of the mind for thinking about Krishna, for for feeling, developing feelings uh, towards towards the Lord, towards the Lord's devotees, towards everything that is dear to the Lord, towards the Lord's mission as well. And one's primary and only desire actually is meant to be in connection with Krishna. As Prabhupada would explain, therefore devotee is someone who molds his life, who arranges his life in such a way that this can happen more and more, that one can be remembering the Lord, thinking about the Lord, developing mm, developing ultimately loving sentiments towards the Lord, and everything connected with the Lord, and being fixed in that one desire of serving the Lord, of pleasing the Lord. When that takes place, when that actually happens, then this description that we are reading this morning, this is how the change of body takes place. Mm. So uh, for someone who is practicing in this way, for someone who is endeavoring, uh, it means that one's consciousness is more and more prepared to actually leave this uh, leave this material body, leave this material world, to which we have been for so many lifetimes actually connected with. Uh, so um, that is the process of Krishna consciousness, to become more and more fixed. Actually, the word is there in the text, asakta. Is it? Asaktasya. Asaktasya means one who is attached. Nista, ruchi, asakta, shakti. These are the higher levels that need to develop, that need to be developed for a devotee. They are like preliminary. Nista, nista is actually the level that is generally not so easy to attain. um, because nista means becoming completely steady or fixed in our practice of devotional service, being firmly established in the mode of goodness, that means being very firmly established in our sadhana. Then we can expect these other levels to gradually become manifest. So this is how Narada Muni is describing his personal um, experience. Mm. So we can continue. There's some comments here.
I have some thought, if it's possible.
Yes.
So here I see that Narada Muni trying to explain different things to Vyasadeva. One thing is that we have to speak about the Supreme Person, who is the ultimate shelter, as the ultimate shelter of everyone, and that's put in the focus. And here he give a little example how this fully established relationship with the Lord by the help of these sadhus and the practice after service practice, it's nothing else he needed to get the desired spiritualized and spiritual body by which he could continue that service without any difficulties that he practiced before. He shows that he don't need any other
Don't need any other
process.
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 Uh,
Like many times we hear that devotees reach nishta or some ruchi, meet with sadhus. No, Prabhupada didn't give you everything, just give the ABC. And you need Siddha Pranali, you need to me and I will give you. And innocent devotees may think, yeah, maybe you are so in need. But here we see is not true.
right.
The Lord will give you. How? By His sound vibration, sound incarnation, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or the constant remembrance, and that will give you. Don't worry,
Yes.
everything is given. Prabhupada was not. Say something about that
Uh,
which is affecting our movement.
yeah, that's an important point uh, you're making. That sometimes we see devotees who have been practicing for a long time, but somehow they get allured to something uh, something different that actually Prabhupada conscious of that danger because when Srila Prabhupada began to his early disciples, Vrindavan, of course, is a completely different world, and uh, so many sadhus take shelter of Vrindavan. Especially so many Babajis are living there, and uh, devotees would sometimes be attracted to some of the explanations that are given, some of the terminology used also. Um, and so yeah, the point you're making is very important, um, which is demonstrated here in what Narada Muni is explaining to Srila Vyasadeva. Uh, Narada Muni received this knowledge, this confidential knowledge, which is given in the Bhagavad Gita and translated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He put it into practice. He gradually became more and more to the point of being totally, completely detached from any kind of material affinity, material attraction, and fully absorbed himself in devotional practice. And in due course of time, as described in this verse, the moment of death came, and because he was in this way, having followed that process, had become fully purified, then he attained the perfection of life by totally giving up material connection. Means he did not have to take birth again. He attained his spiritual body. So we have seen from the very beginning, and this continues even today, that some devotees sometimes become attracted to certain teachings which they wrongly believe or conclude that were not given by Srila Prabhupada. The process of self-realization, uh, as explained in the Bhagavad Gita, as explained and given to us by Srila Prabhupada, is uh, is 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 complete. Uh, and if one sincerely applies that process, then one will get the result which is being described here. Um, Srila Prabhupada, especially in the Nectar of Devotion, has uh, given, I mean, it is Srila Rupa Goswami who has given that knowledge of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the science, complete science. That translation is the complete science of bhakti, of devotional service. So the title itself is indicating that it is complete, isn't it? Yeah. And therefore, because it takes time due to our having been connected, and we cannot and should not force it. Sometimes devotees prematurely want to come to these higher levels. We can force it. If one simply applies the process as given by our acharyas, then one will get the desired result. Actually, I think I was sharing the other day how in our line, beginning with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and also our own founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, they warn us about the dangers of actually becoming too concerned with what is referred to as the bhajan anandi aspect. Bhajan is there, of course, uh, but there is that danger of of wanting to enjoy at the cost of forgetting what is the mission of the Lord. Because the mission of the Lord is two. Mission of the Lord is to give all of us opportunity to become purified and to become pure devotees, number one. Simultaneously, the mission of the Lord is to give that opportunity to as many people as possible. That means preaching. So there needs to be this type of balance that we simultaneously uh, strive and endeavor to advance, to become purified by the process delineated in these Vedic literatures and the, especially what has been given to us by the Goswamis of Vrindavan. And and we are especially, Prabhupada reminded us many times, we are preaching movement. We are preaching movement. So we are not we're not meant to simply um, sit in some secluded place and just enjoy our personal bhajan and strive for what some describe as as you mentioned, sometimes people will say your Srila Prabhupada did not give everything. Everything is actually there, and one needs to have that kind of full faith in our acharyas. I mean, if we look at what these personalities have accomplished, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Srila Prabhupada, by their preaching efforts, they brought so many people to Krishna consciousness. And to bring, that is one of the symptoms of an advanced devotee, how many people he can bring to Krishna consciousness. So so we should know, we should be very clear on the fact that, which is what you pointed out, if we simply nicely, properly, steadily apply the process that has been shown to us, given to us by our acharyas, then everything is there in that process to bring us to that perfectional stage of self-realization. Otherwise, very often devotees, immature devotees, will be allured and attracted to some of the flowery language and concepts that are there in terms of Siddha Pranali and Siddha Swarup and these things. These are not to be minimized, but they they happen. These higher levels of transcendence, which are very deep, which are also very confidential, they automatically happen. In as much as automatically when we grow as a child, we, at a certain age, our intelligence develops. As the body grows, our the what do they call it? The age of reasoning, l'âge de raison. the age of reasoning, a child, a small, like a baby or a small child, cannot reason, but at a certain point, the faculty of reasoning develops. Prabhupada uses the example, for example, of sex attraction. It is not there in a small baby because he's not yet developed, he's not mature. This is an important point. When the body becomes mature, then certain developments take place in the body. In a similar way, when our practice of uh, devotional service becomes mature, then these uh, higher levels, these different realms, higher realms of spiritual life develop. And they develop just like our body develops naturally as we grow up. And so, spiritually, as we apply the process as given by our acharyas, and we continue to make that sincere endeavor, then gradually that purification takes place. And as that purification takes place, automatically one um, attains these higher levels. Yeah. Yes.
The previous verse gives a very, very interesting connection or hint for that. What does it mean, sincere practice?
Mm.
Because the last two words in the previous verse
Yeah.
is showing two qualities. The one is the vimada and one is the vimatsara.
Mm.
So vimada means without being proud,
Mm.
and vimatsara without being envious.
Yes. Yes.
And that's interesting to connect to the Shikshashtakam. The third verse is just working against these two qualities
Yes. Yes.
perfectly. And then the fourth verse still, please check yourself.
Mm.
Nadanam, najanam, nasundaram.
Mm.
So this proud could be very subtle, and this envy could be transcendental envy.
Right.
Oh, I see you. You know so much about Krishna. You're so emotional, and I become envy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How you get? Oh, I help you. No. In time, you will get,
Yes. Yes.
not by someone who say, I know who you are in spiritual world. Maybe you know. My Guru Maharaj also knows that,
Right.
so don't worry.
Right.
He will give me, not necessarily I need someone else than my Guru Maharaj.
Right.
No, your Guru Maharaj left this world. Probably. My Guru Maharaj is transcendentally my Guru Maharaj. So it's not like he left me.
Right. Right. Yeah.
In due course of time, he will give me,
Yes.
because he is present with me transcendentally.
Yes.
So this previous verse is nicely connected
Yes.
to
Yes.
that.
Correct. Yes.
Also, but just shortly, that just yesterday we had a nice conversation about the Prachetas when Narada Muni visited the Prachetas.
Mm.
And that's my friend have to give class today about that situation when Narada Muni helped these kings. And it's very nice to go deeper that these persons have a very nice father. Then they met with Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was teaching them to worship Lord Vishnu.
Mm.
And then they have darshan of Lord Vishnu, who promised them, you will get the pure level of devotional service, because they asked that blessings. And then they also have a very long life, but that long life gives them a lot of material enjoyment.
Mm.
And then almost they forgot that what they have promised by the Lord. And then when they didn't forget, they went out from this material life, but they met with a sadhu who was teaching them mukti,
Mm.
not bhakti.
Mm.
This Jalangi or Samba Muni is mentioned there. and they were practicing yoga, meditation for mukti.
Mm.
And then Narada came and fulfilled the Lord's desires also. And because they were very, very nice, they offered sweet and asked, what more we need? We practice everything. He told, no. The pure bhakti is not in your understanding.
Mm.
That you have to practice pure bhakti.
Yes,
So nice.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
it takes time.
Yes, yes, yes. Mm. So we have to patiently apply the process and know that in due course of time, that will evolve.
And that's our Siddha Pranali mantra is the Tinala Pisunicina. If you take it like that mantra, which really developing that consciousness, by which the Hare Krishna mantra easily
Yes, yes.
gives everything. Otherwise, if we keep some little proud, little envy,
Yeah,
transcendentally proud, transcendental envy, still
right.
very, very nice.
Yeah,
Our process is so beautiful.
yeah. Yes,
Thank
nice. Something?
you. Just one example, which one of my friend mentioned that Satyananda Maharaj had a lady disciple, and in one point she went to Radha Kund, and she was not really giving up her relationship with her guru, but he accepted one Babaji to give this Siddhapanali. And a few years later, they met, and Mataji came and bowed down and have a nice conversation. At one point, Maharaj asked her, "And you get this Siddhapanali? Do you realize it?" And Mataji told, "No, Maharaj." So she understood that, yes, maybe I've got some extra knowledge, but the realization is not like that. So I accepted. No, Maharaj, I didn't realize that. I know, but I didn't realize.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Jai Kantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanandi.